Great to be here, Elaine.
So Ed, one of the biggest problems that people have getting ahead financially is this thing called lifestyle inflation. I think as soon as people get a little bit of a headwind in their salary or their income, they go ahead and spend it. So I wanted to ask you, first of all, can you define for us what the hell is lifestyle inflation?
Yeah, we call it lifestyle inflation, or we call it lifestyle creep. But it's very easy for your lifestyle just to slowly grow. Like you find over time, you find something else you like doing. You like to going out for dinner a bit more often. You buy a bit more expensive car. You whatever. You take a bit more expensive trips. But like your lifestyle can tend to go up a little bit. And there's a general rule of economics. They say expenses rise to meet income. And that's what I find with I've helped so many people with their finances, and I find that a lot of times is whatever they make is what people spend.
Right.
But, if you spend everything you make, of course, it's you end up with nothing left over. It's in the end how your net worth grows and how you achieve your goals. It's based on what you keep, not based on what you make, right? So I've got clients with super high incomes that save very little, and people with low incomes that save shockingly high amounts. It's all of what you save.
So, but lifestyle creep is acceptable to a certain point because let's say if I've been, let's say I'm a college student, right? And I've been sharing an apartment with five other dudes and eating pizza and whatever. And now I graduate and I got a decent job with a salary. I mean, I cannot stay there with the five dudes sharing the same bathroom. Yeah, I guess up to a point it's okay. It's just not to the point where every cent that I earn is spent right away,
Right. I
right?
think what you're talking about, Elaine, is when you're young, you kind of adjusting. When you get your first job, you're kind of adjusting to what your lifestyle is going to be, right? You're talking about a lifestyle when you're not working versus when you're working.
Right.
Like, so yeah, of course you're going to adjust it. You're gonna probably, you may end up, I don't know, buying a place or whatever it is. Yeah, you lifestyle make it take a one time jump. But this lifestyle creep is more, from that place on. Once
Okay.
you've got your job and you've got your starting lifestyle, then it's kind of how it slowly creeps up on you after that.
And is there a point where it is acceptable? Let's say I get a salary increase of $10,000 per year. Sure, I can save all that $10,000 now in my savings account, but how about if I just out of the 10,000, I just start now saving $5,000 and start spending $5,000 in wine, restaurants, vacations. Is that okay?
I mean, as a general rule, that's sometimes what I suggest. When you get a raise, just save automatically, take half of it and save it.
Okay.
And it's a
So
general rule of thumb. To be more precise, what should actually happen is you can do it more precisely when you have a financial plan, because you
right.
have a plan that says I want to retire in 20 or 30 years, and this is the lifestyle I want to have, and you defined it specifically, and you have a plan of how to get there. Now, so most of our clients have that. So we have this plan, so we know exactly what they're doing. And what happens though is when your lifestyle creeps up, most of the time that means your retirement goal is also creeping up because you've gotten used to, nicer wine and
Mm.
nicer restaurants. You're going to want to keep those when you're retired as well. So your retirement goal is going up as well.
Wow.
So you kind of need to review that, which means put away a bit more money because you've probably raised your retirement goal at the same time.
Oh, I see. Wow. Okay. So if you want to retire early, let's say like the financial early retirement, what is the FIRE movement?
Yeah,
Financial independence retire early.
yeah.
You don't want to increase your lifestyle at the same level as you increase your income. That is if you want to retire early.
If you want to retire way early, yes, then you have to retire early. You have to find ways to save, like dramatically more than what most people do.
Right. Right.
It
I
it's
see.
not just slightly more, but for most people, they're saving to retire at 60 or 65 or something. But as your lifestyle creeps up, your retirement goal also creeps up, at the same rate. So you have to make sure that you're still putting away enough money for the higher amount. So that's why
Okay.
that general rule of thumb of, put away 50% of your raise. That's a good general rule of thumb.
Nice.
But if you had a plan, you'd know it more specifically how much you need, to achieve your goal.
Okay. Okay. So now let's say that I retire. I managed to retire early at 55. Okay.
Yep.
Now I continue earning a little bit more money every year because my stocks are still going up. I get more dividends or my pension, whatever reason, my income continues increasing. At that time, I guess it's okay to let my lifestyle inflate without me worrying about it, or should I still be considering a percentage of expense versus my income?
So you're talking about once you've got everything paid off, or just because
Yes,
just because your investments have done really well.
yes. So
Yeah.
now I'm retired and everything is paid off. So now I can increase my lifestyle as my income increases.
Right.
No.
Yeah. So after you're retired, yeah, now you're living off your investments, right?
Right.
You're living off your pensions and your investments, and you're living off that, so you can kind of live with it. The one thing about it though is, like, if you're living with your investments, what happens with them? Because we usually have the bulk of it in stock market investments, and you have good years and bad years,
I see.
right? So let's say long term it averages 8% or 10% a year, but you don't actually make 10% most years. You make 20% one year, and then zero, and then up 25 and down 5. So if you have one good year, you don't want to just spend all of the extra.
I
It's
see.
it's better to more spend based on an average. And the same thing, if you have a down year, you don't have to stop spending. You could just assume that that's one down year. The next year it'll probably bounce back, and it's better to follow a general rule of thumb. I've done a lot of research on this. As a rule of thumb, we financial planners use after you retire, called the 4% rule, that you can withdraw 4% of your investments uh, per year. And so I actually studied that with 150 years of data on stocks, bonds, and cash. And I found it is reliable if you're mostly stocks, like 70 to 100% in stocks.
Right.
It's been reliable for the last 150 years. However, most retirees, have most of it in bonds and are much more conservative and income based. And then they should probably take out 3% or 2.5% or something of their investments per year. And that amount should be sustainable.
Okay. Okay. The last question, please tell us about your business, your website, and where can people find more information about you?
Right. Okay. So I'm a fee for service and full service financial planner, which is an unusual combination. So fee for service means I'm unbiased. I actually write a financial plan specifically for you, and it's all about planning. And that becomes the GPS for your life. It tells you what to do, and then to achieve your goals. And then we take on a certain number of clients full service. And so most fee only planners, they write a plan for you, and then you talk to them at the end of the year and tell them how you did, and they give you, you talk to them at the end of the year. As full service, we're working with you all the way through to help you with your finances. So we only take on clients if we're looking after all of your investments, all your long-term investments. But we have some elite portfolio managers that we outsource it with. But we also do your tax returns, and we follow up with your plan, and we help you with your mortgage. And so we're looking after all parts of your finances. So
And where to find you?
and I have a blog, which is edrempel.com, edrempel.com. It's called Unconventional Wisdom, and it's just edrempel.com. You'd find it, and there you'd find everything about me and all of what I've written on the blog. I tend to be the more I'm speaking from a lot of experience, for which I think most bloggers are much younger than me. I'm the guy that's had the whole planning career and written 1,000 financial plans for people. So and I tend to write much more in depth. It's the people that are more, geeky about finance that tend to really like what I write.
Okay. Well, Ed, thank you so much for your time.
All right. Great talking to you, Elaine.